I never even imagined that you could run a business that loses money every month. Like that just didn't, when I realized that like, oh, everyone raises, I should probably raise. So then I went and pitched all the VCs that invest in e-commerce software, and they all rejected me. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna keep bootstrapping then.
Welcome back to Chew on This, where today we got a special guest that flew in all the way to New Jersey. Solo founder in SaaS, bootstrapped founder in SaaS, which really is very rare combo, first of all. But coming in all the way from Cali is Noah Tucker, CEO, founder of Social Snowball. Noah, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you for having me. So like you said, I'm the founder of Social Snowball. Before building Social Snowball, I was on the brand side of the e-commerce world for a while. So literally right after high school, started building stores, got super into that, started getting deep into the marketing stuff. So like paid ads and eventually affiliate and ambassador program. So we could get into this more, but basically I was just kind of fed up with the existing affiliate solutions, and that's what led to Social Snowball being born.
It's amazing.
What were you fed up with?
So
I knew you were going to ask that.
It's a good question, because at the time I didn't really understand what was happening. Like all I knew is like these solutions are not providing the tools that I need to successfully run an affiliate program. And like there was a lot of specific things and we could dive into, but everything was just very clunky, very manual to do any process, whether that's onboarding affiliates, whether that's, bringing customers into an affiliate program, whether that's sending payouts or gifts to an affiliate. Everything felt very manual and disconnected. And so that's kind of like, at the time I didn't really understand why. But looking back, I think like there was a huge macro trend that happened in the affiliate space for e-com. And like back when those original affiliate platforms like first came out, the only affiliate that brands were partnering with is like very different than what they partner with today. So like I call these like the legacy affiliates, and this is like publishers, bloggers, listicles, review sites, even media buyers. Like that's what the word affiliate used to mean. And then today those are still important affiliate partnerships, but then there's also like a new type of affiliate, and I call this like the modern affiliate, and this is like creators, social media influencers, ambassadors, even to brand's own customers. And what I realize now looking back is the reason that all of those platforms felt super clunky and disconnected and everything was manual is because they were all built for publishers, and it's probably a decent experience for those legacy affiliates. But then when you try to onboard like a customer or a TikTok influencer into one of these platforms that was built in like 2010 for like publisher affiliates, it's just not the same user experience that you need to facilitate a successful partnership. So that's kind of like the macro trend that in hindsight I could recognize, but at the time I was just like, these platforms suck and I need something better.
Fair enough. So for those who maybe are unfamiliar with what modern affiliates are, right? Give a little bit background on just maybe the definition of what that really means.
Sure. I think it's funny because there's so many different terms people use in this, conversation. It's like word of mouth, ambassador, affiliate, synonyms, creator, influencer. Like it's all kind of a gray area, right? But what I view a modern affiliate is basically, social media influencer, content creator. That's like a, social media content creator really. But even like, I would go even to like, people talk about like micro influencers, right? Obviously that would fall under this umbrella. Then they talk about nano influencers, which are like, maybe by definition, like sub 10K, sub 5K following. But the way that we view affiliate is like, it could even be like the average consumer. Like if you as a customer or just like an everyday person can refer a few friends that, and you could replicate that at scale for a brand, that's obviously really meaningful customer acquisition. So under the umbrella of modern affiliate, I would say like on the biggest side are like proper influencers, all the way down to micro, nano, and then even just average consumers.
Got it. So you're talking about individuals who are promoting for the brand for a set commission.
I mean, yeah, that's the way the affiliate model works. In case anyone listening doesn't know, it's like a performance only channel. You compensate an individual or entity for driving conversions, aka sales, and nothing else. There's no paying for anything that could be even interpreted as vanity, such as like views or impressions, clicks, like a lot of other channels, as that's how you pay. This is just a performance only channel, which it makes it great because it's like, less risky.
Right. I think one of the biggest things that we've started to realize going into 23, right? And then even now into 24 is that using affiliates, or at least on the modern side, right? So getting a bunch of influencers, getting creators, getting your micro, whatever it is to really, at least in my opinion, is to build top of funnel awareness and brand awareness for the brand so that you can elevate with paid, right? I think a good amount of brands that are out there are running paid, whether it's Meta or TikTok, probably even just Meta, is one, you're not able to get that true brand awareness with just Meta anymore, right? It's like, it's going to circle the same people, like it's going to go after the low hanging fruit. But how do you actually introduce people into the funnel? And I think that's through influencers, right? It's through content creators. It is through your existing customers, right? And I think the one way to really incentivize for somebody to talk about your brand is like, hey, let's give you a commission to like really, incentivize you promoting about us. But I think what a lot of brands fail to do is make that incentive like very enticing, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would not disagree, but I think like more so now, influencers becoming more of a bottom of funnel channel. It's always been an awareness channel. And I think brands have like always relied on influencers for awareness and then paid for like bottom of funnel. Mm-hmm. I think like more and more often now, like, because I mean, you're mentioning the incentives, like those incentives aren't for anything besides conversions, right? Like your affiliates, you'd give them 100% commission, you give them 200% commission. It doesn't matter if they're driving a ton of views and engagement, but not conversion. So I think like the shift that we're kind of seeing happen now is influencers are still a powerful awareness channel on top of funnel, but it's becoming more of a full funnel channel as well, because if you could create these incentive structures and find the right affiliate partners, whether that's influencers, even like the legacy type of affiliate, or customers, it can be a really meaningful, actual like directly attributable customer acquisition channel.
Talk a little bit more about that. So you're saying like, if at least again, right? So from my perspective on it, and I'm like fairly new to building out our program, right? Listening to a bunch of like feedback from everybody in the space, even you've been super helpful for us building out our program. My whole approach has always been like, I need to just fuel the fire, right? And just get eyeballs. But what you're saying is that you can actually utilize affiliates to drive direct conversions more on like a bottom of funnel approach.
Well, that's what affiliate is, right? Because affiliate is only rewarding for conversions. So there's maybe other ways you could compensate influencers based on like how well their post performs from a views, engagement, clicks, standpoint. But affiliate, almost by definition, is kind of like a conversion focused bottom of funnel channel, right, to an extent. I mean, of course, like any content that's put out into the world, even if there's an affiliate link or code in it, like it's going to drive awareness and maybe not direct conversions, and you could still convert that traffic later through paid. But the affiliate model works well when it converts from that actual like affiliate's post or content piece or whatever it is.
Got it.
Give a live example.
Yeah, right? I don't like. I'm not understanding.
A customer becomes an affiliate.
Right. That customer is only rewarded when they drive a sale.
Correct.
So if you want them to keep posting and keep talking about you and keep making content and telling their friends, they have to be driving sales. It doesn't matter if their post got 1,000 views and a ton of comments, like, because you're kind of saying like how influencer traditionally has been more of like top of funnel. Yeah. And I'm saying like with affiliate, and like more so now, influencer is becoming like, because if that customer doesn't drive sales, they're not going to keep posting, is what I'm saying. Like the incentive structure is just arranged around bottom of funnel performance metrics, like drive sales, get paid, and then they're going to be incentivized to drive more sales.
So my definition of bottom of funnel would be like, they already know about the brand. People have kind of like been to the website. They know what they're like ready to buy.
Right.
And then like, okay, they saw an ad or there's an affiliate that's like.
He's talking about bottom of funnel metrics as like clicks, views are top of funnel metrics. Purchases are bottom of funnel metric.
Yeah. So you're talking about more metrics, not audiences.
Yes.
Yeah, because the audience could be cold, it could be warm.
Yeah.
The affiliate model is still rewarding and working better from conversions.
Yeah. Got it.
That's basically what I'm saying.
Got it. Okay.
Because you're also right in like the way that a lot of influencer campaigns traditionally have been viewed as like awareness and top of funnel.
Right.
And like they're not even measuring conversions. Like it doesn't matter. Like there's not affiliate links or codes in a lot of like, these big influencer posts. But what I'm saying is like now influencer is being treated more and more as like a bottom of funnel performance channel, as in not that is the audience cold or warm, but is as in like success is measured through sales.
Got it. Yeah. Fair. Okay. Got it. So all right.
Two different types of funnels.
Got it. Got it. Fair enough. So then when brands are thinking about like, okay, I want to sign up creators who do have like maybe a decent sized following and sign them up as affiliates, right? My purpose is like, okay, I want to get the views and I want to drive like traffic to the website in the hopes that we do get sales
Right.
and conversions, right? Is the point for affiliates to really just like maybe go after the micro and like build out an army, and like maybe even on the customer side? So you have, obviously, if you're acquiring 500,000 customers a day, that becomes a separate army. But
Right.
should that be the strategy versus like, all right, let me see if I can get these like million plus people,
Yeah.
and then getting them into the affiliate program and be like, yo, I'll give you 50%, 100% commission?
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a lot of different strategies that you can do, obviously, but I would agree with what you're saying, how like the smaller influencers definitely are better at driving conversions in general. And that's like kind of no secret at this point. I think every brand is now focusing on the micro and nano influencers. And what I'm saying is you could even take that a step further and really focus as well. I wouldn't say, as a replacement, but as well as on your customer base as a meaningful affiliate channel. I'm not talking about like a loyalty program with like points or like refer a friend and get a coupon. I'm talking about like your affiliates can be a meaningful affiliate channel. That's one of the multiple programs that you could be running. Maybe you do have a larger creator program and a micro influencer program and a customer program.
So if brands were to like, all right, they don't have an affiliate program at all right now, right? What would be like the lowest hanging fruit to really start focusing on today?
Great question. I think the lowest hanging fruit, just because it's so easy to set up, is a program turning your customers into affiliates. This is something we help brands with a lot, just because it can be nothing is ever set it and forget it, right? But it could be mostly automated. And so the way that we view the way that we help brands facilitate this is basically, we want to eliminate as much friction as possible from that customer to a affiliate journey. So like with a traditional affiliate platform, we were talking about like the legacy affiliate platforms. If a customer wanted to join an affiliate program after they made a purchase, let's say, they'd have to navigate back to the storefront, click on a sign up link in the footer navigation, get taken to a third party URL, fill out like this giant application form that's not even like with the brand's colors or logos, submit it, and then someone on the brand would have to go approve that application, and then they would be welcome to the program, which is like a ridiculous journey to expect a customer to go through that just went like through the most beautiful like checkout funnel that you guys spent like years perfecting. So essentially, like what we help brands do is just turn customers into affiliates automatically, and we could do that at the point of a purchase. So whenever a new customer is placing an order on a brand store, before they even make it to the order confirmation page, we could take their order data from Shopify checkout and use that to automatically generate them an affiliate account, automatically generate them a custom tracking link or a discount code with their name in it, and then give all of that information to them natively on the thank you page as soon as they complete the purchase. So without any pop-up or click here to get your code or fill out this form or any extra steps, all their affiliate info is instantly generated in real time, put right on the thank you page, and then they could start sharing right away. And then of course, we could integrate with the brand's ESP to send additional follow-up touch points in the post-purchase journey, reminding them, here's your code, here's other affiliates that have earned a lot, here's content you can share, et cetera, et cetera. But it's basically like throwing a net over your entire audience, bringing everyone into the program rather than it being something that they have to go out of their way to apply for. And as you can imagine, the result is just a much higher customer to affiliate activation rate, and that could be really meaningful customer acquisition.
Question around like the experience post-purchase for customers, right? How should brands be thinking about, one, if somebody just came in through the brand, they bought for the first time, and now you're kind of like, hey, like, you can earn commission through selling. What's a good balance of, all right, treating them as an affiliate, but then also giving them the content and the education around the brand and like making them feel like a customer too?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think you shouldn't spam it too hard, obviously. Like if you are just like refer a sales, like it's going to come across as spammy. I think it heavily relies on the messaging that you use. So I wouldn't say, I would definitely say with confidence and data to back it, that having a touch point immediately after a customer purchases is a great opportunity to ask them to share, because they just have that dopamine rush after you make a purchase and they do share it, so it works. I would say though, the messaging that you use there matters a lot. And this is not something I could get too specific on because it is very unique for each brand's voice. You want the messaging of your post-purchase customer affiliate program to be very aligned with the rest of your customer facing communication.
Who's really like leveraged their customer base for affiliates?
Good question. There's this one company called the Pod Company. They sell ice baths and they crush it with ice baths. They've done so well with their customer affiliate program for a lot of reasons. One, of course, they have that whole post-purchase funnel just built out beautifully. They have the thank you page feature, like a huge post-purchase flow in their email service provider that's just like explaining how the program works, sending inspirational content of other affiliates that have earned a lot, sending educational content on what is affiliate marketing and how does it work, and giving them examples of content they could share that have performed well. That stuff goes a long way. They've taken it a couple steps further though as well. They also invite everyone who's in their affiliate program, which is or no, everyone who's gotten at least one referral sale per month into a giveaway where they give you a free ice bath or sauna or something. So once a month they give away a free one for everyone who's generated at least one referral that month. So that definitely gets people excited.
That's a really
and every
good
month
idea.
they could be re-entered. And then what I think is even cooler is they equip their customer service team to turn every customer conversation into a referral opportunity. So what's so powerful about when you turn every customer into an affiliate is they already have their code and link. So let's say a customer writes in, even if it's a negative conversation at first to customer service, hey, you know, where's my order, whatever the problem is, and the customer service agent helps them out. That is the perfect touch point from with your brand to the customer to be like, hey, by the way, here's your referral code. You'll earn, you know, $20 every time someone buys with their code. And so the customer service team,
direct reminder.
exactly, the customer service team is plugging this tens, if not hundreds of times a day, and they're driving, I think, like, I don't remember exactly, but a serious percentage of GMV is coming just from customer referrals.
Wow. That's actually really, really smart.
I know. We're not doing any of this.
Yeah.
We'll get you set up.
We'll
get you set up.
We should listen to this episode afterwards. On that note of like what other brands are doing, I think what would be interesting is like there are certain categories and even deeper like products that are super commoditized, right? So like you take our category for a second, collagen or supplements in general, right? It is a commodity in a way, right? Obviously what separates you is your brand or what makes your product different, etc. But you fall into, let's say, hey, you know, a customer is really probably only going to push one supplement company. Are there certain things that like certain offers you've seen that are at least more attractive to customers than others? Or certain ways, you know, you talked about messaging for a bit, but outside of messaging, it's also the offer, right?
Totally.
It's like you've seen the worlds of 10 and 15%, you know, back, and maybe that's still because you know the data from a bird's eye view. Maybe that still is like the lead best general offer, but are there certain creative offers you've seen that have like stuck out or something that maybe is moving the needle differently than the typical 10, 15% referral fee?
Totally. So I think, you know, what you already mentioned is like just having a higher initial commission structure does go a long way.
Yeah.
It definitely does. I mean, people are obviously money driven. It's affiliate model. It's
Have
affiliate
you
marketing.
seen some crazy ones like 50%,
Yeah.
40%?
Yeah,
60%?
we have.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a brand needs to look at like, you know, what they're paying on Facebook to acquire a customer and try to copy that.
That's what Ash does, yeah.
Yeah, because and obviously, you know, if you're unprofitably acquiring those customers, you could scale it back a little bit, but you know, that's like a baseline to kind of be like, what commission should I be offering? Well, what are you already paying to acquire a customer? But, you know, to take it a step further, we have brands that, and this is something that I think every brand should do, whether it's a, you know, influencer program or a customer program, is create reward tiers and tie them to performance milestones. So what I mean by that is your commission right now is, let's say you enter the program at a low commission, 10%, 15%. Your commission is that now, but as soon as you refer 3 sales, it bumps to 25. As soon as you refer 10 sales, it bumps to 30, and we'll send you this free gift you could choose from these 10 products. When you refer, you know, 50, 100 sales, you could create these different tiers and tie them to performance milestones based on how many sales someone's referred, how much revenue they've referred.
And
then
that can all be automated.
Yeah, with Social Snowball, yeah, 100%. Wow. It could be, you know, tied to gifts. It could be tied to a higher commission structure. It could be the difference between a link for tracking sales and a static code. Some brands are very exclusive with giving out static codes for, you know, a lot of reasons we could get into, like codes leaking and stuff. But, you know, if you want to like have your customers, if that's something that's incentivizing your customers, like, oh my God, if I refer 100 sales, then I'll get my own static code. Like that, you could use anything as, you know, reward if it's gonna drive sales.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, right? It's like, see what you're doing on Meta and like trying to replicate that here. Even like on Meta, at least like the category that we're in, and maybe even similar brands near us, like the break-even point for brands is like, if you can get it to like where we're at, which is like a 1.5, right? Let's say if I'm saying like I'm giving you 50% commission, that's like a 2x return on Meta, right? Obviously, like a 2x being 50%. And like, I don't think brands think that way, right? It's like, oh, 50% commission is so much. It's like, well, how much are you paying Zuck, right? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. And you'd rather pay your community member, customer, or creator that money than Zuck, you know, all day. So,
and you're probably more profitable on it that like you're probably more profitable at a 2x than a 1.5 or a 1.1, whatever you're getting on Meta. You know, I know we talked about customers, right? So what are your thoughts on where brands should be like kind of bringing in creators, right?
Totally.
Micro, like mid-size, like what, like for me, I've tried to do it across the board for everything. Haven't really nailed it yet, so I'm curious.
Yeah, well, what's really interesting to see is like sometimes even creators, like we just kind of define a creator as an individual with the capacity to create content. Like I think following almost becomes commoditized. Like it's less relevant because with TikTok, you know, or really any of these short form platforms with, you know, the For You page, like anything can get eyeballs regardless of how many followers someone has. So a strategy that we've been seeing brands implement recently is they basically, let's say 50 creators. It doesn't matter if those creators have followings. That's actually completely irrelevant. Each creator will make their own TikTok page and Instagram and YouTube page for shorts and reels. And they'll post on this brand new page. So let's say you guys were doing this at Obvi, which I think you should. Every creator would make a new page. One would be like my.obvi. One would be like my_obvi. One would be my obvi_. Like everyone would just make their own branded page. And then they would create content and post it on those pages. So every creator starts at 0, and every creator is posting multiple times a day on TikTok, Shorts, and Reels. You guys are providing them with assets of other content that's performed well. Maybe they want to chop that up and incorporate in that content, or maybe they're making new content from scratch. Regardless, when you have 50 creators that are posting 3 times a day on 3 platforms a day, and these creators know how to create content. Obviously, if you're just putting random people, like these creators need to know how to create good content, which is, you know, a somewhat difficult skill to find, but there's a lot of people out there, especially now. Stuff will simply go viral. When you do it at that scale, stuff will go viral. 50 creators a day, let's say 3 posts each on 3 platforms. They would just repurpose the same posts on all 3 platforms, but I mean, they don't have to make unique ones. Stuff simply will go viral. And when it goes viral, and then of course you're giving them all an affiliate link and code, so they could put a code maybe in the piece of content, or they could put a link in the bio, or both. You could, you know, get, you know, however you want to structure that. Content will go viral. It just always does. And then once you start to have more and more content going viral, not only is that driving sales, but then you could kind of use that to teach the other creators in this program, like this is the type of content that works well. Use this as inspiration and make, you know, similar styles of content. And then eventually, like, brands scale this up with more and more creators. And I've seen brands with multiple hundreds, I want to say thousands, but at least multiple hundreds of creators that are all making these standalone pages, all posting multiple times a day, all having their affiliate links and codes. The creators are motivated because when their content goes viral, they make a ton in affiliate commissions, like just like that, because you know how TikTok is, like it just goes crazy and then it, you know, dies down, and they just make a ton of money overnight in affiliate commissions. So they have something to look forward to. And yeah, so that's like an example of how, you know, of not only strategy that's been killing it, but just how the amount of followers that the creator have, like, almost doesn't matter at all anymore. Right. Because if you start 50 pages from 0, which is actually something that people are doing intentionally, not just like they're forced to start 50 pages from 0. That's a strategy they are choosing to implement because it's been working so well right now. It actually performs better sometimes than influencers who have been spending years amassing a following.
Like one nuance there, which is like, because I've seen the strategy around, right, is when you do start from 0, the whole like link in bio, right? If you can't, I don't think you can put anything until like 1,000 followers, right?
Yeah, something like that,
right? So like I know brands are doing this, but that's the part that like doesn't make sense to me, which is like you can't even like get the link in the bio for them like to click on, right? So it's like, how do you even like go, like, is there a way around that? Like, do you almost have to, you have to just have creators build the page up, and then that's when they kind of reap the rewards?
I would say no. I would say use a code. I would say in the actual video or in the caption of the video, use code this at checkout. That could be your attribution system in the beginning, and when the creator grows, maybe then you could give them a link or a save link or whatever. Got it.
Chew on This is sponsored by one crucial strategy that we just can't ignore as D2C brands, and that's email and SMS. We'll be sending a ton, and guess who's our go-to? We use SendLane. It's not just another tool, it's a revolution. With real-time segmentation, you're reaching users with precision when you hit send on that email or SMS. The reporting UI, you may ask? It's a breath of fresh air. Simple, straightforward, and gets right to the point. No more sitting through confusing data and random charts you have no idea about what it's saying. And here's the crown jewel, their customer support. Round the clock, weekends, holidays, 24/7, 365, always open like 7-Eleven. No exceptions, they've got your back always. If If you want to elevate your email and SMS game and you're tired of what everyone in the industry is used to using, check out SendLane and see why SendLane is the name that's buzzing in everyone's ears. Dive in and you'll thank us later. Now, let's get back to the episode. So I think want to ask a few kind of questions which have always been on my mind, because we're always revolved and surrounded by a lot of SaaS companies and builders and founders. And I think a lot of them are impressive. I think anyone building in SaaS is very impressive because of just the amount of just building you have to do plus marketing is like almost equivalent. You know, it's not like with CPG, you can have a great product and then just get it into a bunch of hands and, you know, maybe one part gets easier. So I think in SaaS, you kind of have to have a very equal approach to both. But I think the part that's super impressive is you've bootstrapped your way, which is rare. It's just purely rare. And whether or not you raise capital moving forward, it doesn't matter because you've gotten really far with the way you've taken. So maybe just on the builder's approach from how you started and where you've gotten, what have been some key reasons you've been able to do that? Because it's not like you've created like some easy tool. You've also created a really cool platform. You're rolling out 2.0, right?
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about it. And it's like, how are you doing this? And solo founder and still everywhere all the time, all over Twitter. Like I don't know if there's multiple versions of you, but how are you doing it all?
Yeah, I mean, to touch on the bootstrapping part, honestly, like it's all like, I think my brain coming from like the brand side background, it just doesn't know any different than to focus on making money. Like I never even imagined that you could run a business that loses money every month. Like that wasn't in my realm of reality when I started Social Snowball. My brain, since I started in e-commerce, was just wired towards like, you build a business and then it has to make money and then you could spend that money on growing the business and then you keep doing that. Like that's just
right.
what my brain is wired like. So, you know, when I realized that like, oh, everyone raises, like, because we were already at like, I don't know, like 10, 20K MRR. And I was like, oh, everyone raises. And I was like, I should probably raise. And this is like, you know, a couple years ago. So then I went and pitched all the VCs that invest in e-commerce software and they all rejected me. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm just going to keep bootstrapping and like legitimately, like fully transparent.
Why they reject you? Too small?
No, not even, because everyone else that raised, like, I'm like, we were at that time, I mean, like 10, 20K MRR, we were really small, but like, we were bigger than a lot of the SaaS companies that you've seen all over Twitter. Like, I'm not even joking, because
I believe it.
Like, they just don't focus on making money, which is, you know, a whole nother conversation. But essentially, like, I was just like, you know, okay, like, that's how my brain was wired. Then I tried to raise money. I think the reason they said no was just because like I didn't know how to talk to investors genuinely. Like I would get on the phone with the VCs and I wouldn't lie to them. Yeah. I would just be like, yeah, this is what we're building. This is how far we've gotten. Like, this is what I'm working on. And they'd be like, oh, so like, what's the big picture? And I was like, that's it. Like, that's exactly what we're building. It's a great product. Everyone loves it. And like, okay. And it wasn't like Adam Newman changed the world enough for them.
Yeah.
And so I legitimately think that's why. And I've talked with, I mean, I have so many friends in the space, SaaS founders in the e-com space that are VC backed. And I've talked to them about it. And they're like, yeah, like you have no idea how to talk to investors. Cause like we'll do like, I'll practice with them. And they're like, don't even bother. Like just keep doing what you're doing. Like
that's awesome.
My brain is just very focused on product and customers and getting the word out. And like, I feel like instead of trying to like fight that and spend all of my time building pitch decks, learning how to talk to VCs, then once I successfully raise, I have to deal with those VCs and then they're telling me what to do. And like, if some people are born with that gift, and if that's like, you know, if that's what you should do, like go and like, you know, don't like, cause for me, that would be like fighting against what I'm naturally good at. And like, I might as well, since I already have traction doing what like feels right, I might as well just like keep going with that.
100%.
Yeah.
I think it's super important, especially like in today's ecosystem where it feels like to do something you have to raise. And I think you find a few diamond in the rough where it's like, wait, no, that's not entirely true.
Yeah.
But I'd love to know from like 0 to 1, like was your first hire a developer? Did you like just creation from product? Like were some mistakes there? Oh my God,
dude. The stories you wouldn't believe. Maybe we can get into a few of them here. But going into Social Snowball, I had no idea what I was doing at all, like zero. And so like, I was like, okay, I want to build a software. Where do you look when you need code written? Upwork. So like,
no way.
I was like looking at Upwork, and then I finally stumbled across this agency that told me they were going to do like a done for you package where they'll build the whole app, they'll do the UI, the UX design, they'll even do the website and get it ready for the Shopify App Store, like everything you need.
For $1,000.
Yeah, for not 1,000, but red flag levels of cheap.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. And I was like, oh, perfect. Like, that's amazing. Like, that's godsend. So I obviously went forward with that. They promised me they would have an MVP, like a working minimum viable product that would be ready for the Shopify App Store in 3 months. I had a very simple, Google Word doc literally that just like told them everything I want the app to do. That's like literally the extent of like how I knew how to build software. 3 months went by and they're like, oh, coming soon. 6 months. It took 15 months before I ended the contract early with them because we still didn't have a working MVP. And I was like, enough is enough. These guys clearly don't know what they're doing.
Oh my God.
I need to find someone else. I'm 15 months deep into this. I've already spent what I spent to get them to build. They were pretty close. I'll give them that. Like the app was almost there, but there were so many bugs. Like I was like, they weren't fixing them. I couldn't wait anymore. I was like dying to bring this to market. So then I hired another, then I actually from Upwork I got lucky and I found like a really good engineer, just luck. Like literally, like I talked to 10 and I picked one randomly basically. Like This guy just happened to be really good. He was like ex Yahoo. I was like, okay, he probably knows what he's talking about. This guy got me from like that like super, super buggy app to a fully functioning, submitted and approved in the Shopify App Store MVP in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Like, and then that's kind of the first inkling of my mind of like, okay, there is a difference between like different developers. A good dev versus a bad dev actually means a lot. Right. And I still at the time didn't understand like further implications of what a good dev versus a bad dev meant, but I kind of got a gist for it. The next 2 years consisted of me hiring and firing in the 15 to 20 freelancers that all just weren't good. And I mean, this is 2 years of like kind of not only like not getting out new features as fast as we needed to, but like creating outrageous amounts of technical debt because we have 15 people or 20 people, like literally in that range with 15 or 20 different coding styles, not writing any documentation. It was just a disaster, like a complete disaster. I hired, fired so many people. Eventually I found someone who seemed to be good and he was building a lot and he told me like 6 months in he's like, I want to be your CTO. And I was like, oh my God, that's what I've always wanted. Like I need a CTO. Like I don't have a technical co-founder, it's too late for that at this point, but like a CTO would be amazing. And so he was based in Romania, really smart dude, and he was like, okay, cool, like I'm down to take a 50% pay cut. I just want 10% of the company. And I was like, oof, 10% is a lot, but like, you know what, I need a CTO this bad, like I'm down for it. But I told him, let's sign the papers in person. I was already planning a trip to Barcelona with my girlfriend and some friends for New Year's. This is like two years ago, maybe. And I was like, we'll fly to Bucharest after and let's sign the papers in person. So that's what we did. We went to Barcelona, then we went to Bucharest. Never seen, Romania before, but Bucharest was okay. But then we went to Cluj-Napoca, which is, a really, really cool city in Romania. I got to see things I've never seen before. Met this dude, signed papers, popped a bottle of champagne, and then I flew back to LA. I was like, okay, great. 1 week later, this guy just doesn't
I knew there had to be something here.
1 week later, he just doesn't show up for work one day, like online. He just disappears. And I was like, okay, that's weird. I was like, hey, is everything okay? Like, where were you today? And he's like, hey, yeah, sorry about that. Everything's okay. I just need to talk to you about something whenever you have a chance. And I was like, how about right now? And so we hop on the Google Meet or whatever. And he's like, yeah, so I never told you this, but I've actually been applying to become a priest. And I just got accepted. And now I have to go live in a monastery for the next 6 months. And I could only work part-time. I hope that's okay, right? And I was like, no, actually, that's probably the least okay thing you could have ever brought to the table right now.
You just gave him 10%.
I just gave you 10% of my company. I've been building this like for 2 years now. I just flew to Romania. Like we signed papers. Like I thought you were all in like late nights with me, like really grinding. Like that's what I needed. I needed a CTO to like stay up all night and really grind with me. Yeah. And, like, like do what a CTO does. And now you're going to work 4 hours a day from a monastery, like with your, like sneaking your laptop when no one's looking. Like that is like the least okay thing you could have brought to me. But I didn't tell him that actually. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I told him like, no worries. Like, I'm sure we'll make it work. But then I started aggressively searching for new engineers. And his equity hadn't invested yet. Hadn't started investing yet. We had like another month. So that next month, I was just frantically searching for a new engineer everywhere. Job postings, friends, favors, like reaching out to old freelancers. No, I couldn't find one that like was good because I kind of knew what a good engineer looked like at that point. I really couldn't find anyone that was good and that I could afford. And so then the day before his equity vested, I sent him the notice. I was like, we're terminating. He didn't get a single point of equity. And we went our separate ways. And then I just had 0 engineers working for Social Snowball.
Oh my God.
I had I had a software company with, multiple tens of thousands of MRR. I don't know exactly where we were at this point. Tons of customers and 0 engineers. Every day something new would break. And I had one customer service guy, still with me today. Dude's an absolute beast. Who was just like keeping them calm. Like that was the entire team, me and that one person.
Keep it calm.
And every day we had new bugs coming up. The app wouldn't work for this one merchant. We had integration partners, big names, PostScript actually, messaging us saying, hey, your API is like shooting us like 1,000 calls per minute. We're going to have to shut the integration down. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do?
When was this? Like 2022?
This was like two years ago.
2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. And this was just like a nightmare of a time for me. And I was like, if I could make it through this, like we could do anything. So eventually I eventually just became sad because like I took this business so far.
You became sad.
Yeah. I took this business so far and it was doing really well. We still had a great reputation somehow. And now it's just like, I'm watching it slowly crumble. And I was like desperate. I was like, I will do anything, literally anything to save this business. And thankfully we didn't even lose that many customers, if any, honestly. Like my customer support guy was really keeping them calm and being like, we will fix this. I promise. Like we will fix this.
That guy seems great.
He's great. He is really great. So then eventually I reached out to one of the old freelancers that worked into me during that hiring and firing 15 to 20 phase. He was another one that was really good. And I said, dude, like, I know you got a new job now and whatever, but like, I just need, like, if you could give me weekends, nights, I will take anything. I just need you to fix bugs. Like, don't even worry about anything else. I just need bugs fixed because I am literally desperate right now. And he's like, oh yeah, no worries. Like, I got you on the weekends. So then on the weekends and at nights, he would just like fix bugs and he would fix them fast too. Like he knew the code base from before. So he would just bang them out. And I was like, oh damn, like this kid is good. And I wanted to bring him on full time, but he had like a really high paying job and he didn't want to. But then he told me like, hey, I have a cousin. He told me I have a cousin who's like just as good as me. Like he can join and be full time. Like he's looking for a full time job. I talked to the cousin, gave him an offer, and that was my first full time US hire that's still with us today. And
Wow.
He's helped us hire every engineer since. Every engineer since had to get vetted by him, so I know they're actually good. We have an engineering team of 4 or 5 now.
Look at that.
We have like an actual tech lead that we poached from one of our biggest competitors, and things are smooth.
Wow. That's crazy. That gives me hope. We do a lot of that hiring and firing sometimes, and it's just tough.
You just gotta power through.
Yeah.
It's so accurate though. It's just like we're just sad sometimes.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just feel helpless.
You're just like I'm. Like,
I can see from the corner of my eye his desk, and he'll just like put his head down, and I'm just like, I feel bad for you, man. Like,
I'm just sad.
oh
Damn.
wow, that is an incredible story. And
So-
how long so you've been working on Social Snowball for?
I guess
4
like
years?
4.5, yeah. But like when we started building to now, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. And you now operate it fully remotely.
We're all remote, yeah.
All remote.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey guys, we're gonna take a quick break from the episode to analyze some of our top performing ads in our ad account. A lot of people have been asking me, what have you been running, statics, videos? Well, I'm gonna show you our top performing ads utilizing a platform called Motion, which pretty much analyzes all the data of all of our top performing creatives, ROAS, by spend, by CTR, CPCs, everything. So check it out. What's going on, guys? Today we are reviewing another ad that was a top performer over the last 90 days. So let's get right into it. This one's really interesting. If you are not whitelisting or utilizing any whitelisted ads in your ad account, you're definitely missing out here. And if you don't know what whitelisting is, essentially you are running an ad behind a creator's page or an influencer's page, some other page that is not directly from the brand, right? And so some of the reasons you'd want to do this is because on the feed or on Instagram feed, it looks a lot more native coming from what seems like a user or a profile outside of just running the ad from your brand, right? So this ad is very, very simple. We took a picture of the product and we overlaid some text. And if you notice, we are utilizing the Instagram font and text here so that it looks even more organic, especially when this shows up on Instagram stories placement. It pretty much looks like somebody posted a story about this product, right? So that's one thing. Then we set up the profile and we ran this ad through another profile. So again, when you're scrolling through the feed and you're scrolling through stories or whatever it is, this looks like it came from an actual person that's talking about the product. So it doesn't come across as too salesy. Other than that, we pretty much utilize the Ozempic trend as one of the angles for this product. A lot of people are using Ozempic for weight loss. We saw a lot of comments on our ads asking, is this as effective as Ozempic, or I'm keen on trying Ozempic, blah, blah, blah. That's where we kind of got this angle and we said, listen, let's tap into this trend. People are talking about Ozempic for weight loss. We are a collagen-based weight loss product. So let's come up with a caption that addresses the Ozempic elephant in the room and pretty much say, this is a better alternative to that product. And so this quickly became one of our top performers in terms of a whitelisted ad. Again, very simple to create, goes based on attacking trends, which is something that people should be doing, and utilizing whitelisting. So if you're not utilizing whitelisting, especially if you're a founder or a brand owner, what you could do is start doing some founder made creatives, whether that's you as a founder holding the product and kind of talking about your story in the ad copy, or maybe doing a founder story. But that would be the quickest way to get whitelisting up off the ground. And the second part to that would be like, once you start, working with influencers or creators, start utilizing their creatives and running them through their handles on Facebook and Instagram. So this one is easily something that you can add to your ad account. So test it out and let me know how it goes. If you're looking to sign up for Motion, click the link in the description for a special offer today.
Now, let's get back to the episode.
I want to talk a little bit future, Social Snowball. I think with the rise of like TikTok Shop, and like just the hype around that, right? Like even if you look at like D2C Twitter, it's like creators are like, oh, like brands should be putting their products on Shop. Like any video that gets put out there, TikTok's juicing it. Like get your commission, this and that. So it's more or less the same realm, right? So like, how do you I guess for me, it's like, as a brand, I want to focus on both, right? But it's like, how do you focus on both? It's like, you want to build it for the website, but then it's like, well, I need to set up the affiliate program on TikTok,
Yeah. Well,
like, how do you do it?
It's tough. I mean, it's so new, like nobody really knows yet. And I think it's also the data's so skewed right now because TikTok's been discounting everything so like dramatically that like we don't really know how it's going to actually convert, and like we'll see how long that lasts. But the one thing that's difficult for me to wrap my head around Shop is it's very similar to like Amazon and other third-party sales channels where you don't own any of the data. So like a customer purchases and you just don't get their email. Like when they stop discounting, unless you are a profitable on first purchase brand, through that channel, then it's entirely useless. And even if you are profitable on first order, you're still not getting any of the data for retention. I don't know. Like I think right now brands should definitely be pumping it because it's like working really well. Like, and this is like the golden age of it. Like especially while TikTok's discounting anything, why would you not go after that? But I think long term again, like the reason that I love and I preach affiliate marketing is it's like everyone talks about owned audiences for like retention, like your email list. Affiliate marketing is an owned customer acquisition channel. And that is rare and special. Like it is not an acquisition channel that one day the CPMs are going to spike. It's not an acquisition channel where you even pay based on CPMs or clicks. It's not an acquisition channel that can just shut off one day or the algorithm glitches or anything like that. It is an owned customer acquisition channel. And again, like every brand is so focused on their owned audience channels for retention, but acquisition can and should be, at least for a part of your marketing, be viewed in the same light. So I think that's like another reason that like true affiliate, like, what we help brands do with Social Snowball is so valuable.
Right. So I think the biggest like USPs for Snowball has always been, easy setup, easy signups for affiliates, commission payouts, performance on both sides, brand and creators, and then the safe links, right?
Yeah.
Discount codes not being able to be shared to like the coupon sites and affiliate fraud and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know you kind of teased something about Social Snowball 2.0.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about it?
Sure.
What does that look like?
Sure. So I'll just start by talking a little bit more about like the bigger picture for Social Snowball, the vision. I think everyone is a lot of SaaS companies and like the brands are very aligned with this, is like consolidating your tech stack, right? That's kind of what everyone's doing. So with Social Snowball, like I genuinely believe we have the best affiliate and referral product on the market. But, under the umbrella of partnership marketing for e-commerce, there's so many other pieces to that puzzle, right? You need to find creators, you need to collect UGC, you need to maybe track their posts. There's so many different pieces. So with 2.0, Well, one, we have a totally reimagined dashboard and interface, which is just so many levels nicer. Like, I can't believe we got this dashboard that we're using now, by the way, is the same one that the agency designed.
Wow.
Like 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Oh, well, yeah. Actually, we released the new dashboard today, so that's a big piece of it.
We'll pop it up here.
Is that what caused the Shopify?
The funny thing is, my team was like, "Oh my god, we broke all of Shopify," and I was like, "Guys, it's not possible."
If you're watching this later, it was what, November? What's the date?
13th?
The 13th when Shopify went down.
Yeah,
Social
so
Snowball.
this just happened. Yeah, so we were all like panicking right before filming. So that's one part of it. The second part is the next piece of us kind of branching into the other pieces of partnership marketing for e-commerce. So this tool is going to be focused around discovering influencers, but not just discovering influencers. Like, there's a million tools that will give you a database and you could search based on keywords with this. We're kind of taking things a step further, and we're helping brands build their best campaign types from Facebook into influencers. What I mean by that is, you open your ad account right now, what has the best results? Probably like your retargeting campaigns and your lookalike campaigns. Influencers, even as a performance channel, has still been kind of a spray and pray approach. You just kind of search for influencers through keywords or through hashtags. Yeah. You just gift to everybody, and then like you hope like a few of them like post and convert. Yeah. Like, we're building a tool that's going to allow you to find influencers based on their audience, and specifically their audience overlapping with other things, like maybe another influencer that performed really well, or maybe your customer list or email list, etc. What you could do with that data of those influencers that you're going to be able to discover through this tool is maybe this influencer has a very, very big overlap with my abandoned checkout list, for example. I'm going to run retargeting campaigns through these influencers, and you're able to kind of have a little bit more intention with the influencers that you're discovering and partnering with, instead of it just being like completely random. Another big vision for Social Snowball is to really help influencer, affiliate, and the like be a actual meaningful, and it already is, but more so an actual meaningful acquisition channel for brands. And there's a reason that Facebook wins so hard, and there's a reason that brands rely so heavily on Facebook. It's not just because they choose to. I think no brand chooses to. Facebook has a lot of amazing tools that let you find your customers. Like, that's very powerful. Right. So, with Social Snowball, we want to help brands find those same customers with as much intention as you could find them through Facebook, through different audience building. Right. So that's kind of what's going to be unique about this discovery tool that's coming soon.
Sounds amazing.
It's incredible. And it also makes sense, right? It's like what you kind of just hit on is like we find levels and layers to all the other forms of media and traffic sources. Yet like with influencers, it's always like, all right, let's just
close your eyes and drive forward.
Let's send out these 100 packages and maybe 25 of them will post. So it makes a lot of sense. That's
the
incredible.
one thing you said was like matching up maybe abandoned cart lists with, an overlap of a certain influencer's audience. What, like, that to me is like a new concept. How would you go about like setting something like that up?
Yeah, well, I mean, that feature in particular might be a little bit further down the road, but it is what we're building with this. We're what's unique is like we're really helping brands find influencers based on their audience, and like you could look for overlap with other audiences. Yeah. So like you might want to partner, like instead of just partnering with 100 random influencers because they all like posted with a hashtag, you could partner with 100 influencers because with concrete data that your customers, let's say, or abandoned carts, whatever, are following these 100 influencers. So if your customers are already following them, there's a very good chance the other people that are following them will be your customers.
Got it.
And that's like a lookalike audience. Yeah. What is a lookalike audience? It's similar characteristics. Like we kind of, bridging the gap, and for the first time we're able to build these types of campaigns through influencers' audiences instead of just paid ads, like Facebook's audiences.
Honestly, I feel like that would just instill a confidence within me to go back to that creator and be like, listen, I'm actually down to pay you to post as well, right? Because it's like a lot of these big creators are like, oh, like I don't do commission, I don't do affiliate.
Your confidence level goes up.
Yeah.
Right, because it's concrete data. It's not like, I really believe in this one because my gut. It's like
because their engagement is
the last post looks good.
Right. It's like with Facebook, you wouldn't do that, right? Like with the Facebook ad, would you be like, okay, I'm gonna, these 1,000 people all like, it's just, you know, it's just a different mindset, and
No,
like
it's
we're kind of
smart.
trying to bridge the gap of the
Brilliant.
mindset. Like the way that you approach paid works for a reason.
Yeah.
Let's see how we can apply that with technology to influencer.
No, that's great. I'm excited for that.
That's awesome. Maybe we'll do a quick rapid fire questions and then chew on a few chews.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Just gonna ask you.
All right.
Just rattle it off. Ready? Favorite book.
Oof. You know what's so funny? When you were like, oh, I'm gonna ask you rapid fire questions, I was like, think favorite book, think favorite book. Oh man. So the first one that jumped into my mind is Emotional Intelligence, which I read a really long time ago. I just learned a lot from that book. It was very, very cool to learn just more about myself and how people work. A book I read more recently for the SaaS people who may or may not be listening to this is called From Impossible to Inevitable, which just really explains the basics of building a SaaS. Because again, like as you guys have learned in this conversation, I really don't know what I'm doing. So like that has helped me a lot as well.
I love that. We'll have to call those books out here. Favorite food?
Sushi.
Music?
Deep house.
Deep house.
Yeah, especially when I'm working.
Wow,
Oh my
yeah.
God, it just locks me in super hard.
I love it.
Yeah, huge productivity hack.
Favorite brand?
Yeah.
Obvi.
Come on.
Obviously.
I
It's the
love
obvious
it.
choice.
I love it. Second favorite brand.
Coffee over cardio.
This guy's good. This guy's good.
You want to ask me my third?
He's gonna say Paul Rangers. I just know it. Sweet. So you want to cue him up on the chews?
Yeah. So at the end of every episode, we ask for one chew, you know, something that the audience can kind of take back and implement in their business today. So if there's one thing you want to share, what would it be?
Oof, really good question. I mean, this is something we already talked about, but I really just think it's such a low-hanging fruit that everyone should really do it, is turn your customers into affiliates. And I don't mean put them in a refer a friend program that's like a loyalty program with points or coupons, a real affiliate program. Like the ROI on that and like even the actual impact from like a percentage of GMV standpoint is significant when executed correctly. So I think that's just such an easy one. Almost set it and forget it. Every brand should absolutely execute it.
Damn, chew on that.
Chew on that.
Amazing.
If you want more from us, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, and check out the website chewonthis.io.